Boxing King Media in association with Boxro. Delighted to be joined by Shane Watson. Shane, interesting card. You're here with Sol Dacres. He's got an opponent. I assumed it was a last-minute opponent, but Sol has told me that he's had a good couple of months' notice. Were you expecting to find out about Sol that you already don't know from this Saturday?
Yeah, I'll be quite honest. It's not really the opponent that we wanted. So, I mean, for many reasons. Number one, it's a southpaw on only a few weeks' notice. We weren't really offered many other options, if I'm being honest. There was only one other option, and I don't even know if he could have got a visa in time and whatnot. So, not a lot of people want to fight Sol. It's not a long list or a massive queue. So, we were settled for Chris Thompson, who, by the way, is not an easy test. He had a close fight with Romanov, who famously beat Wilder in the Olympics. So this guy can really fight, man. He's 12-4. He's game. He's a big guy. He's a southpaw. We haven't really had much preparation for a southpaw, so it should be a good, nice little test for Sol. Another tick box of it being his first pro southpaw. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and it's another good opportunity for him to show the quality and the levels that he has to his game on Saturday night, high up on the main card.
You were saying off camera that you feel like Sol's not had like the limelight and the the hype behind him. Who's at fault for that?
I mean, you know what? It's difficult to really say because we backed Sol the whole time. I think with the good matchmaker on the Rob Ismay fight, which definitely helped get his name out there, and it got his name out there a lot more than what it was before. I think people would agree with that. A second round KO for a title. And I think part of the problem is obviously Sol isn't a trash talker. He's not like Adelaide where he turned up at a press conference to have words with Wardley and calling him stuff out. And I don't want Sol to be that guy because he isn't that person. He doesn't like to talk to people that way and whatnot. So I wouldn't want him to be that kind of guy. But if he keeps performing the way he's performing and keep getting the W's and keep getting the KOs, then there's no reason why he won't be a big name and why people won't have to fight him or will fight him. So, yeah. So I mean, I guess maybe because Matchroom were maybe a bit more all in with Wardley, because he was producing big numbers on the zone, getting big KOs, all action style. Talked a little bit of trash, but not bad trash, just like having a bit of fun with it all, I guess. And I guess a lot of people were talking trash to him, so probably just backing himself. But yeah, so there's probably a little bit of everything. But he'll have to make his own name and get good performances. And he gets a good KO against Thompson, back-to-back good KOs, and it really puts his name in that mix.
Definitely so. Just want to ask you about a couple of other things. We've seen Zhang Joyce rematches in the next couple of months. Obviously Joyce is in camp now. What is the plan? Is he going to come heavier? Have things changed from that? Because a lot of people said that you guys weren't happy with how his camp went last time. So what's changed this time?
Yeah, so it's 5 weeks away now. I've just got back from camp last night in Vegas. He's still there for a couple more weeks. Yeah, training camp's going really, really well. It's like by far better already, and we've still got a lot of time than what the last camp was, so that's positive. He's listening and adapting to the game plan very well, which is again very positive. Yeah, and there maybe were problems with the weight, maybe there was problems with the game plan. There were problems with maybe the team not being over as early as they should have been. Loads of things, man. There's a long list of problems, but at the end of the day, the better man on the night won, fair and square, so I don't want to discredit Zhang at all. But all I can tell you is for sure this time we'll be getting a knockout victory within 8 rounds.
All right, so you're saying it's not in the 50-50, it's that conclusive?
Listen, I'm never going to disrespect Zhang as I didn't in the build-up to the first one. The guy's an Olympic silver medalist, should be undefeated in pretty much everyone apart from Hergovich's team's opinion, and obviously the judges. And he's a great, great fighter, and nobody wanted to fight him. This is why we have to give Joyce credit again, because he didn't have to fight Zhang either, and he did. Other world level heavyweights refused to fight him when they had the same promoter, without dropping any hints. So at the end of the day, he's a ferocious fighter, he's an elite level fighter, so you can't ever count him out. But after seeing the training camp Joe's had, I am absolutely confident in a big Joe Joyce victory.
I'm guessing you spoke to Joe. In fact, I'm assuming you and Joe will have watched the AJ fight together. So, could you tell us what Joe thought of the AJ fight? Because I know they had a bit of beef, a few months ago.
Well, I can't actually remember specifically what Joe said. We did watch it together, yeah. It was a good KO from Anthony Joshua, of course. When you put someone to sleep like that, it's always a good KO. Am I overly impressed with how he boxed in the lead up to that KO? I've got to be completely honest, no, because he was getting tagged a lot. He had a bit of wear and tear in the face after the fight, probably a bit more than what I thought he was going to have. It's Helenius that wasn't in great form, if we're being honest, had no real training camp for that either. Much as they say he got a win the weekend before, he fought someone who he found on the door somewhere. Like that guy was awful. So and there's no way Helenius would have had a proper training camp for that guy because he simply wouldn't have needed one. But I thought Helenius was very good for 6 rounds, actually. I thought it was close. I think I had AJ 1, maybe 2 absolute max up at the time. But even the rounds he did win, I think they were very competitive and still close. I think Helenius landed a few good left uppercuts that caused a bit of damage to AJ's eye. He was popping the jab quite well. And I think he was actually growing in confidence a lot, which I think actually was his downfall in the end. Sitting on the ropes too long, let his guard down, switched off, didn't he? So he got caught with a big shot. I think he was getting a bit tired as well. But yeah, in the end, it's a good KO for AJ, and I mean, I'm sure it boosts his confidence to let his right hand go a bit more. So.
And the last question on that, there's different opinions. People saying he should fight Wilder, some are saying he shouldn't. What do you think? And if he does, how does it go?
Well, he's got to roll the dice, man. What is AJ now? At 35? He's boxed at elite world level for a number of years now. You've got to back yourself against the top guys. The rewards there financially as well, and the rewards there in a massive fight with, well, a lot more pressure on a massive fight with Fury, where the money then is going to be absolutely ridiculous again. I mean, what are you in the sport for if you're not going to fight people like Wilder and whatnot? Who do they suggest he fights then? Because you want to see the best against the best, so who are you going to suggest he fights? I'm assuming if you don't think he should fight Wilder, he shouldn't fight Fury. He's not going to fight Usyk again. He ain't going to fight Joyce. He ain't going to fight anyone else. So why would anyone be against that fight? At the end of the day, as long as the best are fighting the best, it's good and healthy for the sport. And people shouldn't count AJ out either because he's an elite world level boxer. He's had great wins. He's got better wins than Wilder has. And also he can punch as well, man. So you can't write him off. I think Wilder will knock him out, but you can't count him out. It's going to be a great fight. So.
Shane, appreciate your time. Anything else you want to add before I let you go?
Yeah, we've got a big soul in this fight night tonight. Then we've got Florian Marku in a tough fight with Dylan Moran. It's been overlooked a little bit as an opponent, but it's a very, very tough fight. And then it's the big one, Joyce, Zhang, and we've got Tommy Fletcher in the undercard of that as well.
Good stuff. Shane Watson from S-Jam, thank you very much.
Oh, man.